Okay, so there wasn't a whole lot of information in your post about like what's going on. You basically explained that you've got what you feel like is a swing that doesn't really use your legs properly. Maybe you're not generating a lot of power. You said you're 6'5", 6'6". Let me just kind of dive into some things that I think might be an issue for you, but there was no like golf lights or like, it didn't say if you sliced or, pulled or hooked anything. So when I looked at this golf swing, I said a few things to myself, but number one, I'm going to make some assumptions. Number one, I'm going to assume your left hand grip is super strong. That's just my assumption based off of this takeaway position where the club is pointed smack down at the ground at that point right there. And the other assumption I'm going to make is that when you make a backswing with that strong grip position, it also appears like you might be moving like somewhat laterally. Tough to say that from this view, but that's my assumption based on what you're doing. The next couple things I'm going to show you would be the swing flaws that we should probably evaluate. So you do a lot of good things in your golf swing, and there you are at the top. We'll call that P4, very top of your backswing. You're very tall. I think you start somewhat too tall, and then as you make a backswing, this lead hip moves forward and down too far, too in towards the golf ball. And the next thing you do is that backswing, you get the club all the way up there at the top, and the face is super shut. With that position there, there's a few things that you're going to have to do to generate good strikes and good contact and hitting the ball high and far, mostly high and far enough to play golf. So you're going to have to do one of two things. You're probably going to have to stand up and back out of it a little bit. You're going to have to try to put some loft on the face to make sure the ball goes up into the air. Um, it's hard to do all that, especially for someone that's, a mid to high level or mid to high handicap golfer. The next couple frames I see here, you get it up, you've got that face really shut, the hands go out, we get steep. And now you're going to commit to that steep, and you're going to start coming across it with a shut face in the next couple frames. So there's your steep across. We can even probably zoom in a little bit and see how that club is already kind of trending across the golf ball right there with a shut club face. And I'm sure you can open it at some point. Um, and then coming into impact and post impact, you get really vertical. So this is you trying to create loft. So you're here, super shut face, stand up a little bit, trying to open the face, which it probably does, coming across the golf ball. Those are some problems. I think if I'm you, I would probably revert to something similar to like maybe, a pump drill. I'm less concerned about what the legs are doing. It's just really hard to see because we don't have a face on view. But from what you're doing, I would take the club in your left hand, right hand down on the shaft, and I would make some practice backswings. I'd get the club up there at the top, and I would just make some notes of like, what do I do with my wrists from the position I had it, and how do I create a little bit of loft with the golf club? So if I'm going to take that left hand grip and keep it kind of strong like that, put that there, can I make some backswings where I don't make it even more strong or shut faced? Can I take it back? And I would even put a little bend in there if that makes it a little bit better to add some loft, so you don't have to pop back up and throw a little loft on it. Um, I would take it back, I'd put it here, and I'd work on reflexing back into the ground. It would kind of solve some of the leg problems. Just so as you go down, the arms and hands go down, the club goes down, and then you can start to push off the ground properly. I don't think you necessarily have a leg problem. I think you just don't know how to organize some of the pieces of the swing. So in review, you've got strong grip, little move off the golf ball, no loft, trying to stand up to create loft through impact. The fix, split the grip, bend, get it up to the top, figure out your wrist angles to make the club face square-ish, and then come back down. Boom, come back down this way. You can do it as hard as fast as you want from there. Finish the swing.